Nabo declined jurisdiction. She did not allow the charge to be read or the plea to be taken, and the Chief Magistrate Ibenabo directed that the case filed be sent to the Department of Public Prosecution for legal advice and adjourned the matter to November 12, 2024 for arraignment and trials on charges of attempted murder, cultism, possessions of illegal firearms and related offenses. Nigerian Correction Association has fixed her annual national conference for today, 22nd of October 2024. The theme for this year's event is Corrections Management of Downstream and Midstream Oil and Gas Industry. Speaking to journalists in Port Harcourt during the press briefing on Monday, President of Nigerian Correction Association, Professor Awal Kazim, said, for over 40 years, the association has sensitized the public and partnered with relevant agencies to establish correction centers across Nigeria. Secondly, the President called on the Rivers State government and other parastatals to ensure all hands are on deck to make correction knowledge domesticated at the grassroots.
We are in partnership with the Standard Organization of Nigeria in order to develop correction standards, which is lacking in Nigeria. And several efforts were made previously to domesticate correction certification in Nigeria. As it is presently, before NICA came in today, you will have to subscribe to NES, the National Association of Correction, which is an international correction organization based in the US, for you to register. With the coming of NICA, with the revival of NICA on board, and also the coming of Nigerian Institute of Correction, all these training can be domesticated in one. First. Then secondly, we also undertake sensitization tour to public institutions. You can see in this correction also, we have specific activities. They are marked for students, so that we can sensitize them on the import of corruption, so that they can take the money after we go. Thirdly, we also interface with industries to see if they have specific corruption challenges, so that we can come in and advise appropriately. We are also in partnership with many governmental organizations, like PTDF and Nigerian Downstream Agency. We are in partnership.
However, other stakeholders in the Nigerian Correction Association took turn to speak on the significance of the group and sent a message across to the government.
Individuals that have not been paid, forgetting that these so-called individuals are supposed to be represented.
I want to tell everybody that remotely and outwardly has been making efforts to identify the gossip players and the government regulatory agencies that have one or two things to do with what NICA is doing.
I respect the owners of filling stations like these stations we have, that the part of this, attend this conference, they want to hear from us also as practitioners what they need to do to maintain a good protection system in the filling stations.
Acquiring such knowledge, pollution control is very important. And like it has been mentioned, bridging the gap between industry and academia is very key in this matter. Look at the country we find ourselves is where we look at oil and gas, it's against asset integrity is at the core. So the more we have the knowledge about how to control corrosion, the more we contribute more to asset integrity.
So if you take a little example from something like convert, you see that you make a new convert, also will be passing, everybody will be passing. After like 2-3 years, it will collapse. What has happened? The rod they use in reinforcing it, because of the poor nature of the country, water goes in. And immediately it sees water, critical to oxygen, it starts corroding. At the time, it will disappear.
Reinstated Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shuaibu, has advised elected leaders to avoid confrontation and respect traditional institutions. He gave this admonition while delivering a speech at the 8th commemorative service of the Oba of Benin at the Holy Arosa Church in Benin and urged Akboholo to work in harmony with the traditional institution. He promised to engage with the next administration to tackle issues that their administrations failed to address and to continually defend Edo heritage. In his homily, the presiding priest of Holy Arosa Cathedral, also known as the Edo National Church, Oren Osa Edebiri Igbino Ohodwa, highlighted several milestones recorded during the reign of Oba Ewora and called for the unity of Edo people both at home and in diaspora. Akwa Ibom State Governor Moino has reinstated his commitment to complete all the road projects he inherited from previous administrations. Eno, who spoke through the Commissioner for Works and Fire Service, Professor Eno Ibanga, at the press conference at the NUJ Press Center in Uyo, said he would also complete the ones initiated by his administration. Ibanga, who was flanked by the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Ini Ememobong, and Chairman Akwa Ibom State Environmental Protection and Waste Management Agency, Prince Ikim, also said Eno has injected over 208.16 billion on roads and other infrastructural development projects since the inception of his administration in May 29, 2023. He said out of a sum 47.393 billion was injected on 36 projects inherited from Finance and General Purpose Committee, while another 4.4 billion on 51 spent on emergency intervention projects inherited from the immediate past administration, giving a total of 51.96 billion already spent in the category, adding that the sum of 151.96 billion had been injected into 61 Arise agenda projects of the present administration. The Commissioner also warned against erecting structures on waterways, drainage and right-of-ways so as not to compound the issues of floodings in the state, and warned against initiating traditional designs like speed bombers on the road, saying such can cause early damage to the road infrastructure, while the right thing to do is to approach the Ministry of Works with such requests. Abia State Governor Alex Oti has urged Nigerian youth to join politics to decide their fate and make a difference. Oti, who gave the advice during church service at the Transforming Church in Abuja, the nation's capital, said every society needs the leadership it deserves. The politicians will not decide everything for the people. According to him, he left the banking sector in 2014 and joined politics to make difference by doing things differently, and prayed that their dreams and aspirations would come through. Imo State Police Command has arrested a popular radio presenter, Chino Souba, also called Nonsokwa, who was accused of engaging in what the command described as cyber-stalking, character defamation, and inflammatory statements. Confirming the arrest, the command's public relations officer, Henry Okoye, informed that the presenter was arrested by the operatives of the command on October 20, 2024, following a written petition from concerned citizens regarding viral videos where the presenter allegedly engaged in character defamation, spreading misinformation, and inflammatory statements against him. The citizens also alleged that Uba's statements led to the burning of the National Open University Study Center in Nsu, Ehime Mbano, LGA on September 30, 2024, which the command claims ignites civil unrest. Okoye pointed out that the presenter was not adopted as was initially alleged, but was arrested, informed that Uba is currently detained at the state headquarters of the command and will be arraigned in court with appropriate charge once a comprehensive investigation is completed. The arrest of the presenter is currently generating reactions from members of the public, mostly media practitioners, and the state following the manner the presenter was arrested. And reacting to the development, a media practitioner Chidi Nwapara said arresting the presenter for informing the public based on information obtained from a popular TV station without also arresting the originator of the news amounts to selective justice, and urged the police to respect the constitutional right of the presenter by ensuring that he is not held in custody longer than is required by law. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has commiserated with the community members and families of those slain in the Ndibo community in Akwa South local government area of the state on Sunday. Speaking at AK Market in Akwa on Monday during his routine monitoring of activities across the state, Soludo vows to apprehend the perpetrators of the dastardly act and combat cultism in the state. And no fewer than 13 persons were reportedly killed during the cult-related clash in Ndibo while the community was holding its New Yam festival. While urging the people to go about their lawful duties, the governor stressed no matter where the perpetrators hide and will be brought to justice. Analyst says the Enugu state government failed in their duty to protect lives and property after giving them order to reject the sit-at-home order on Mondays. Speaking via Zoom on Atlantic Television Network program Society Watch, Mr. Isaac Boti opined that only reason why the people will ignore the sit-at-home state government order asking them to go about their daily activities is due to fear and lack of confidence that they have in the government and security agencies.
It shows that the state has been ineffective in guaranteeing the peace and the security of the people of the state. Shows again that the people of the state do not have that confidence in the state government to protect them. And that is why, out of fear, they can obey the instructions or commands of some unscrupulous individuals in the state who perhaps have in the past unleashed severe mayhem on the people or are likely going to do that now. So, for me, it tells.
This comes after the Enugu state government has dismissed the illegal sit-at-home order by faceless persons. The government therefore directed citizens to go about their lawful businesses, and every inch of Enugu state has been well covered by the security agencies and infrastructure to ensure security of lives and property. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has reinstated his commitment to the delivery of quality governance and fulfilling his campaign promises to the people of the state. Adeleke, who disclosed this while addressing journalists in Lagos after delivering a mini lecture at the 7th Memorial Anniversary Lecture in honor of St. Moses Orimolade, the founder of the Cherubim and Seraphim Church. A statement issued by spokesperson Oluwale Rashid Adeleke said his administration's dedication to prioritizing public interest and delivering effective governance has overwhelmed the opposition and assured that his government is focused on solving both minor and major service delivery challenges across various sectors, including a combination of large-scale initiatives and small intervention to serve the people's best interests. Adeleke also said the opposition struggles to comprehend how his administration has achieved so much in such a short time, leading them to resort to spreading fake news, personal attacks, and even condemning his praises for worshipping the Almighty, the giver of power and life. Earlier, while addressing the theme of the lecture, the role of the church in the delivery of good governance, Adeleke called on religious institutions to consistently speak truth to people and stress the importance of constructive engagement with political leaders. Conference of State Court Commissioners of Nigeria has protected the activities of individuals allegedly paraded on leaders of the organizations. The conference during a protest march on Monday cried out that some people had been parading themselves as leaders of the voluntary association and urged Nigerians not to reckon with them and their activities. Chairman of the conference, who also doubles as Oyo State Court Commissioner Zach Ekanola, raised the concern on behalf of the organizations, adding that the alleged impostors have been moving around states presenting themselves as leaders of the association, and such action is against the law guarding the association. People's Democratic Party in Ondo State has expressed dissatisfaction with the manner in which Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has been handling the affairs of the state since he took power as governor 10 months ago. While stressing that the people of the state are unlucky with the emergence of Aiyedatiwa, PDP, in a statement issued by its publicity secretary Kennedy Paratai, said economic activities in the state are at the lowest ebb due to the inability of the governor to stimulate the local economy. The opposition also berated the governors over the amounts approved for the construction of the deputy governor's lodge and their asphalt overlay of road in some parts of the state. And while reacting to the development, the director of media and publicity of the state chapter of the All Progressives Congress, Steve Otoloro, described the allegation as false, adding that the PDP was desperate to mingle with the Aiyedatiwa's administrations and the ruling party ahead of November 16th governorship election. People's Democratic Party in Ekiti State has recommended the expulsion of former governor Ayodele Fayosho from the party. The recommendation was submitted by the party's caretaker committee chairman Adere Adeleke before the chief Tommy Ikemi-led PDP disciplinary committee, and the parties accused the former governor of anti-party activities, especially his declared support for the second-term bid of Governor Biodun Oyebanjo G, the former governor, while inaugurating the Head Fargo Road, an electrification project recently completed by Ayebanji in Ado-Ekiti. Reinstated his support for the second-term bid of the governor, who belongs to the All Progressives Congress. Adeleke, who spoke at the press conference in Ado-Ekiti, said Fayose actions are misleading to the public and should be regarded as distorted and false image of what the PDP stands for. Middle Belt Forum in Kaduna State has rejected the entreaty, the result of the council election held on Saturday, October 19, as announced by the state electoral chairperson Ayaja Hajara Mohammed. The statement issued by state chairman Luka Biniyat pleaded with Governor Obasani, who has the final say in the matter, to critically appraise Saturday's election and take a positive, courageous position in a manner that will strengthen democracy in the state and increase the love, trust, and hope that the citizens have for him. He called on Governor Obasani to realize the particularity of Kaduna State as a place that his highest advance, hugely cosmopolitan and sadly versatile and sensitive to such matters, saying that as a father of the state he should do the needful and make an urgent intervention. He urged that from all that they have gathered from the field on Saturday, election did not hold in the overwhelming 12 LGAs of the Middle Belt in Kaduna State, adding that election materials arrived late and came without result sheet, and the electorate, suspicious of an untoward games, refused to vote. Benue State Governor has reiterated his commitment to transforming the state into an industrial hub. The managing director of the Benue Investment and Property Company Limited, Dr. Raymond Asemakaha, who disclosed this on Monday during an inspection tour of the ongoing work on the polyethylene bags factory in Makurdi, as solidarity of the bakery and bottled water company, said that then when completed, the factory is expected to employ about 100 youths. Asemaka had promised that the company would deliver and roll a new project every quarter and describe it as a government-owned investment established to drive economic development while focusing on diverse sectors such as agriculture, infrastructure, real estate, and finance. The managing director said the company spent significantly on the production of polythene bags, bottled water bags, and labeling, but added that half of the amount spent to produce these items in Lagos would be saved. Yobe State Police Command says operatives arrested a 54-year-old woman from Jakana Town, Kunduga, LGA, Borno State for trafficking ammunition from Boni Yadi to Damaturu. The command's public relations officer DSP Dangos Abdulakrim, who discloses in a statement issued to newsmen on Monday in Damaturu, said on October 20, 2024, a divisional police headquarters Damaturu received credible intelligence regarding the suspected gun runner en route to Damaturu. A statement by the Commissioner of Police, Garba Hamad, reaffirmed the command's commitment to combating crimes and urged community members to sustain their cooperation with security agencies. Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Boni has directed the Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources to hand over all the facilities of Nazari Livestock Development Center in Jakoso, LGA, to leaders of the Fulani Herdsmen. A statement issued by the Ministry Chief Information Officer Ashita Taijani said the handing over became necessary as a multi-billion naira project is ready for cooperation and usage. He said his administration, in collaboration with the federal government, has invested billions of naira in the construction of the reserve, which is the second largest livestock development center in sub-Saharan Africa, and reassured of the readiness of the government towards supporting the grassland reserve for socio-economic growth and development of livestock production in the state. The facilities at the Grassland Reserve include milk collection centers, human and animal health facilities, primary school for nomadic children, and feed my centers as well. All gaze towards boosting livestock production in the state. You are watching the transition on Atlantic Television Network. A return after this break.
do you withhold the salary of a person who is not an employee of the company, an organization?
Back, this is a transition on Atlantic Television Network, and now the rest of our stories. House of Representatives Committee on Navy has expressed displeasure with the Nigerian Navy for acquiring foreign platforms without the knowledge of the Nigerian Parliament. The committee was worried that the Navy failed to respond to its letter demanding for documents to facilitate effective oversight of a security agency. Chairman of the House Committee on Navy, Honorable Yusuf Gadi, who spoke to journalists after a closed-door meeting with the leadership of the Navy, insisted that the committee cannot take a position until the oversight of the platforms that are being built is carried out. Gadi also expressed displeasure with the Nigerian Navy over manner in which the case of the personnel's seaman Huna Abbas was handled by the Nigerian Navy, an action that led to his dismissal after 6 years in detention. Earlier, the Chief of Naval Staff Vice Marshal Emmanuel Ogala told the committee that the Navy was facing several challenges, adding that these challenges include but not limited to inadequate resources to effectively carry out its operations, adding that beyond its military responsibility, the Navy also performed the function of policing the waterways, complementing the Nigerian custom, which has no depth sea policing capacity.
It is my honor and privilege to welcome possibly the chairman
and stand pledge. Please take note of the following process. Please do not with exit A1 clearly marked. N5 should exit the process through.
I think it's better.
The chairman of the committee on Navy, for the oversight.
Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kudat Motomori,
Beyond the courtroom, a supportive and conducive living environment is essential to their ability to focus on the heavy responsibilities entrusted to them. Judicial officers require peace of mind, security, and comfort in their residences to fully dedicate themselves to the rigorous task of interpreting and applying the law. The construction of these residences is a practical step towards ensuring that judicial officers are well supported. It goes beyond addressing the basic need for housing. It reflects the recognition that the mental and emotional well-being of judicial officers is directly tied to their living conditions. These homes will provide a secure and tranquil environment, enabling the judicial officers to perform their duties with greater focus, efficiency, and clarity of mind. The judiciary, as an independent arm of government, must be equipped with the resources necessary to function optimally. While judicial officers are committed to upholding the rule of law, The provision of appropriate residential accommodation is a critical component of their welfare. By making this investment, the FCT administration has demonstrated a commendable understanding of the unique needs of the judiciary.
The Honorable Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, who stated the reason why judges deserve housing in Abuja, said 70% of the money allocated for the project has been paid to the contractors so that nothing will hinder them from completing the project in 15 months.
The conditions of service is critical to the independence of the judiciary. Another condition of service that's very, very critical and insulating the judiciary from interference is housing. Housing, every man needs housing, so also judicial officers. And so, Mr. President said, listen, it's not every time we talk about, we support the independence of the judiciary. We must show in practice, we must show in action that we were indeed not saying so, but we are doing so. People can see that we are seriously doing that. And Mr. President said, we must at all times provide housing, but that can only be better if you have owner-occupier. And so every judge will know that at the end of the day, I'm retiring from office, I have my own home. With that, it will be difficult for anybody to manipulate or interfere when you have a home. The budget for this project is not the normal budget where you have the cost is 50 billion, but what is provided in the budget is 1 billion. No, it's not for this kind of project. We have 70% of the budget approved for this particular project, because Mr. President has said, if you know we don't have the money, let us not start it. And that's why we have told the contractor, you have only 15 months. You have only 15 months to hand over well furnished, because our judges must get the best, because they are doing a lot of hard work and good work for this country.
While the Chairman Senate Committee on FCT, Senator Ibrahim Mohammed Bomai, reiterated the commitment of National Assembly in supporting FCT in achieving its objectives in providing required infrastructure services.
Today's event is another testimony to the present FCT under the leadership of Honorable Minister Nyesom Wike towards the improvement of the welfare of public officers in the FCT. Our judges in FCT deserve a befitting and decent accommodation as part of welfare in making them comfortable in discharging their difficult task of enforcement of rights of citizens and dispensation of justice. I wish again to reiterate the commitment of the Senate Committee in giving all the necessary support in achieving the goals and objectives of the FCT in the provision of the required infrastructural services in Abuja and the FCT.
Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has filed 14 fresh charges of alleged 5.78 billion fraud against the former Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed and his Commissioner for Finance Ademola Banu before the Kwara State High Court presided by Justice Hamid Abdul Ghaffar. The suspects were charged with alleged diversion of misappropriation of public funds meant for the execution of some projects and security of the state, and a fresh rearrangement of the former governor and his finance commissioner followed the withdrawal of the case last week Wednesday from the Federal High Court in Ilorin, where there were formally standing trials by the EFCC's quell to the transfer of the former trial judge, Justice Evelyn Anayedike of the Federal High Court sitting in Ilorin, to another division. Abdul Fattah and Banu were first arraigned on a 12-count charge of mismanagement of public funds before Justice Anai Dike on April 29, 2024, to which they pleaded not guilty, and the presiding judge was transferred in the course of the trials, and the case has to start de novo. The name of the ex-governor Ahmad featured in all the 14 charges, while Bono's name did not appear in count 7, where Oni Ahmed was accused of failure to fill assets declaration form offered him by the officer of the EFCC upon arrest, contrary to section 27 subsection 3C. of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Establishment Act 1 of 2004, which is an offense punishable with the term of 5 years imprisonment under section 27 subsection 3 of the same act. Ruling on the application, Justice Abdul Galfa admitted the former governor and his former commissioner of finance, Benu, to bill in the sum of 100 million with 2 shorty each, and some of the shorty must be serving or retired payment secretary to the state, and the case was adjourned till December 4 and 5, 2024 for further hearing. Southeast Development's Peace Initiatives has called on the federal government to unravel those behind the rumored death of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Torrid Lagwaja. Leader of the group, Honorable Festus Okochi, a former commissioner in Enugu State, said the intention of the rumor paraded should be unearthed, with the expression shock that people would wish the army chief dead at the time he was succeeding at wiping out terrorism across the country. This is coming after the Nigeria. Leadership of indigenous people of Biafra has called on the residents of the southeast to disregard the sit-at-home order issued by an unidentified group. A statement released on Monday, IPOB clarified that the order did not originate from their pro-Biafra organization, adding that there have been audio and video messages circulating on social media warning residents in the region to avoid the street. The message also advised parents and guardians to keep their children away home from school, while markets and shops should be cautioned against opening their businesses during the period, and the messages circulating threatened against anyone who does not comply with the sit-at-home order, which is set to last for 2 days from Monday, October 21 to Tuesday, October 22. In response, IPOB has encouraged residents to continue their daily activities as usual, while the IPOB spokesperson, Emma Powerful, said IPOB did not declare any sit-at-home order on October 21 and 22, and the illegal order is from criminal elements and Finland-based infiltrators who are not members. This administration is against democratic freedom. Analysis says the present administration does not allow room for criticism against its politics and role that goes against the democratic freedom of the people. Speaking via Zoom on Atlantic Television Network program Society Watch, Mr. Isaac Botti opined that the present administration intimidates the youth and the security agencies in the country to violate people's rights to freedom of expression.
Say that this administration is the most intolerant administration Nigeria has ever had since it returned to democracy in 1999. This administration does not want to be criticized. This administration does not want anyone to speak against its policy, against its program, against anything the administration is doing. They are so intolerant that any decent voice or voices is picked up, is arrested, is detained, and all of that. And for me, it's a very bad signal to democracy. We know just a few weeks ago.
The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has urged President Bola Tinubu to stop the weaponization of the Department of State Services and other security agencies in the country, and instead worked on the ways to revive the national economic hardship. National Examination Councils has warned school owners and other relevant stakeholders to desist from enrolling candidates for its examination by proxy. The council made this known in a statement signed by the Acting Director, Information and Public Relations, Aziz Sani, and such fraudulent activities often result in identity theft and subsequent parade of fake results, adding that NECO is now determined to eradicate all forms of examination malpractice. The council has put in place some measures to check impersonations in all its examinations, including the use of biometric data capturing device, the use of customized answer booklets, and the embossing of the photograph and date of birth of candidate on the original certificate. The council also enjoined to note that any certificate purported to have been issued by the cannot be verified or authenticated using the NECO e-verifying platforms is fake, and call on the State Ministry of Education and other schools owners to ensure that only personnel details of genuine candidates are used for registration in all NECO conducted examinations. And now to some business reports. Federal government, through the National Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, has declared plans to significantly increase oil production by 1 million barrels per day over the next 12 to 24 months, with the aim of enhancing the country's energy output and contributing to economic growth. The initiative seeks to boost current oil production capacity from 1.6 million to 2.6 million barrels per day by 2026. The Chief Executive Officer, Bega Molafe, who disclosed this during an event celebrating the third establishment on Monday in Abuja, highlighted that the project presents a collaborative industry-wide initiative designed to develop solutions that will unlock additional oil production in both the short and medium terms, and also call for support for all stakeholders. However, the Minister of Petroleum Resources on Oil, Henneken Lakpoberry, draft initiatives bill seeking to protect raw materials proceedings and local production has passed the first reading at the Senate. A statement by Director Corporate Affairs of Raw Materials Research and Development Council, Mr. Chuks Ngaha, said the bill, if passed into law, will chart the pathway to industry growth and development in Nigeria. The draft legislative bill, sponsored by Senator Peter Nweboni, representing Ebonyi's North, seeks to fortified Nigerians' local reduce dispensing, ensure sustainable economic development through the promotion of local processes to the nation's raw material resources. It also seeks to promote domestic proceedings while ensuring that no raw materials are exported from Nigeria without undergoing a minimum of 30% passing, thereby fostering the value addition within the country, while on protection of local industries, the legislation to prohibit the importation of raw materials that are available for local production, safeguard local manufacturing from unfair competition, and encourage the growth of the domestic industry. The bill states to raw material shall not be exported from Nigeria without certification, by the council confirming that the materials have undergone the required processing, while on the import prohibition, the bill indicates that no raw materials that processed or produced locally shall be imported into Nigeria, and that the Federal Ministry of the His consultation with the RMRDC shall comply with and maintain a list of raw materials that are locally available for local production, and the exercise shall be subject to periodic review. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Adebonyega Oyetola, has raised the need for the interrogation of the intermodal transportation potential of the country's maritime sector. Oyetola, who disclosed this in a maiden edition of the Nigerian Transport Summit organized by the Transportation Correspondent Association of Nigeria in Lagos and represented at the event by Mr. Yusuf Mohammed. The Director of General Service Ministry of Marine and Blue Economic said streamlining transport mode was key to optimizing the movement of goods and services. According to him, linking of the port and road, rails and island waterways was key to optimizing the movement of goods and enhancing trade, adding that the ministry has embarked at unlocking the vast potentials of the nation's marine resources. He also said the strategy was validated with the support and collaboration of the Inter-Africa Bureaus for Animal Resources and the Kingdom of Norway. Infrastructure Causation Regulatory Commission has expressed the need for economically unvaluable airport bullet built by some governors in the country, stressing the proper infrastructure planning will reduce duplication of such projects. The ICRC Director General Dr. Jobson Ewalefo, who disclosed this at the second Joint Public-Private Partnership Unit Consultative Forum on the theme using PPP to actualize the renewed hope agenda in Nigerian infrastructure delivery, brought together stakeholders from various sectors to discuss strategies for infrastructure development. This is coming after 6 Jigawa, Yobe, Nasarawa and Bayelsa spent about 160 billion on airport projects that opposition politicians and aviation professionals classified as unviable. Apart from the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos, Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, and Port Harcourt International Airport, Port Harcourt, River State, that generated about 80% of the revenue of Nigeria, while the other airports constitute a financial burden to fund. To resolve the issues, the ICRC-DG said proper national planning via project integration and collaboration with the sub-national would eliminate the proliferation of the unviable economic projects and reiterated the importance of sharing experiences and overcoming challenges to drive economic growth. While against the backdrop, the Nigerian Governors Forum also canvassed for broad adoption of public-private partnership, particularly at sub-national levels, to deliver and drive economic growth and improve citizens' quality of life. The chairman of the NGF, Abdurazik Abdurraham, said PPP was vital for bridging Nigeria's significant infrastructure gaps, while highlighting the roles of infrastructure as the cornerstone of economic development, stating that PPP offer innovative solutions for the delivering essentials project efficient. International tidbits. U.S. officials say 4 persons, including a child, were killed after a chopper struck a road tower in Houston, Texas. According to the Houston authorities, after taking off from the Elliotton field, which is around 15 miles distance, the privately owned R-44 helicopters went down at about 7:45 p.m. local time and was not immediately apparent where it was going. According to officials, all the 4 of the victims were on board and the helicopter, and the crash did not injure any on the ground, while the damage and loss of the crash happened near a book-turning tank, and it is a residential area. Police also reported that the radio tower was the only building or the dwelling affected, but they also pointed out that the fire that broke out from the collision spread over 2 to 3 blocks. And now to sports news. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has warned its players that they need to eradicate the heel discipline that has been seen them pick up 3 red cards in this season. William Silaba sending off in a 2-0 defeat at the Bournemouth last Saturday followed those of the Balkan Rise and Landro Torresad. The defeat saw Bournemouth was Arsenal's face of the season, and in the previous match where Rice and Torresad were shown red cards against Brighton and Manchester City, the Gunners managed to earn a point. And now to entertainment news. In investigative panel set up by the Minister of the Interior, Olubami Tunji Ojo, says the popular cross-dresser Idris Okuneye, widely known as Bobrisky, completed his jail term after sentenced to 6 months imprisonment on April 12 for abusing the naira and released from prison in August. This is coming after controversial social critics Martin Soterse, popularly known as Very Dark Man, had shared a voice note allegedly belonging to Bobrisky that she had paid 15 million to some Economic and Financial Crimes Commission officials to drop the money laundering charge against him. In the audio, Bobrisky also claims that the godfather, alongside staff members of the National Correctional Center, Nigerian Correctional Centers rather, ensured they saved the 6-month sentence in a private apartment and not in a prison, while on September 30, the minister constituted an investigative panel chaired by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Interior, Magdalena Ajani, ordered a probe into the alleged corruption and other violations against the Nigerian Correctional Service, reading the first one report of the panels on Monday. A member of the panels and the executive director and the founder of the Prison Rehabilitation and Welfare Action, Uju Ugomo, said the panel found no evidence that Bobrisky slept outside the prison walls after she was sentenced. Omomo said during this period, Bobrisky was transferred from the Kuje Correctional Custodial Center to Medium Security Custodial Center in Kirikiri, Apapa, Lagos, and then to the Maximum Security Custodial Center, from where she was discharged after the completion of a sentence. And that's the size of the package. Thanks for joining us. I am Immaculata Irekana. Join us on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic TV Net. Also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Good morning.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded